Oh, hon, you're so sweet. Hello, everybody. It's the pre-show. How you doing? I think we got it going on. We got Facebook coming up there. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. Welcome, everybody, to the pre-show. We will get this rocking and rolling in about 6.5 minutes from now. Oh, how's the week shaping up for you? Thanks for the love. Thanks, Ember. Oh, I love it. Share this out to your friends. Get them rocking and rolling on here. We're going to talk about the 3 areas of your life that you can use to bring more prosperity into your life this year. And it's all up to you. It could be doubling your income. It could be, everybody talks about that stuff. Everybody talks about that stuff. And there's ways, a lot of it is, and I'll talk about it in the show tonight. There's a lot of ways you could even double your income today. And it's really easy if you make nothing. Because double and 0 times 2 is, so you could double it. No, I'm kidding. Oh, that's just mean, isn't it? That's just mean. All right, let's just post that. Let's go that. Let's see if we can get some friends on here. Let's get some people on here. We got about 5:20, a little over 5 minutes to go to the show. Oh, I'm just having a rare and good time here today, so let me know in the comments if you have any comments. I don't know, maybe you don't have any comments. In the beginning here, I'd like to talk real briefly about comments in Facebook. Facebook algorithm, so that we can get promoted and it goes out to the members of, like, in this group, in my Dave Stelma page. Also, I have a closed group that I have for solopreneurs. Mostly life coaches are in there, and that. So if the biggest thing is comment. Put a comment in. I don't care if it's a smiley face or something like that. Instead of putting it in the post or in the, as far as, a smiley face, a heart or something like that, go put it down in the comments. Go in the comments and put a smiley face in there. That helps out, and do it for whoever you like. I'm sure there's people that you watch on YouTube, and utilize that when you watch those people. Put a comment in those. If someone posts something and you like it, put a comment in there. Don't just put like it or put a smiley face or whatever it is, or a heart. Don't just do it in there. Do it in the comment section. Put it down in the comment section, because that's going to blast it out to the other people. So I just want to share that words of wisdom on there. Excuse me. So we got about 3.5 minutes to go to the party this weekend. Don't forget, Saturday night, what is it, 2:30 in the morning? I don't know how they figure that out, but somewhere at 2:30 in the morning, you're supposed to get up out of bed and you're supposed to change your clocks. You're supposed to spring ahead 1 hour. Have fun with that. And everybody's already complaining that they're going to lose an hour's sleep. They're going to do, I'm like, you don't lose an hour's sleep. You don't lose an hour's sleep. You just go to bed and you'll wake up when you're rested. Right, Ember? You just wake up when you're rested. If it's 6 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock. If it's 4 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock. If it's 8:30 in the morning, it's 8:30 in the morning, and you're going to be late for work. So who cares? Call in late. Tell them that there was a snowstorm. But by the way, we had snow here last night in Wisconsin. Gotta love that. And most of it was gone by this afternoon. Now we know what it feels like to live in Colorado, where it snows and then boom, it's gone 3 hours later, right? Everybody loves that. There you go. Giving the smiley faces. Thank you so much. So we have about 2 minutes left in the pre-show. And tonight we're going to talk about the 3 areas that you're going to, that you should utilize in your entire life. But you can, if you start incorporating them now and focusing on those right now, you will be way better at the end of this year. You won't have the stress, you won't have the anxiety, you won't be fretting about things. So there you go. That's what we're going to talk about. Hopefully some more people come on here. My gosh, what is going on? Who are the lurkers out there? If you're lurking out there, I want to know. Tell me in the comments. Shoot it out to me. Oop, I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to spread the word a little bit more. Here. Got a minute left in the pre-show. There you go. Popped it over into my personal page there. Awesome. Jesse, what the? You must be bored, huh? No? Don't you have a roof to do today? No, I'm kidding. All right, we got about 30 seconds left in the pre-show. Then we're going to get right into the topic for tonight. The 3 areas that will bring you prosperity if you focus on them this year. It will double your income, double your life, your health, your wealth, your well-being, and your spirituality. So let's talk about that in about 10 seconds. Let the countdown begin. Welcome everybody to tonight's show. I am Dave Stelma. Thank you for coming along on the journey tonight. You get to listen to me rant for about a half hour. Aren't you excited? Well, I'm going to tell you, if you do what you did, you're going to get what you got. And that's what tonight's show is all about. Let's change these 3 areas in your life to bring more prosperity into your wealth, your health, and your spirituality this year, right after the intro. I'm going to dive right into it tonight. We're going to talk about wealth, health, spirituality, and what you need to focus on and how ways that you can focus on it. In the past couple of days on Facebook, there was on one of the Facebook feeds, a gentleman went into this whole rant about the tax cuts, and I don't get into the political aspects online because it's just it's just made to divide people up. So, but what this gentleman was saying was how he credited some legislation, these tax cuts and that, from him going from making $13,000 last year to now this year he's going to make $300,000. And I claim bullshit. I don't know if I can say that or not. It's before 9 o'clock, so maybe I can't say that. So BS. It has nothing to do with a tax cut or legislation. There's no laws that you can put into place that's going to soar someone from $13,000 to $300,000 a year. What's going to do that is going to be his attitude. And that's going to be a common theme throughout all 3 of these segments. But when you're working on your health, your wealth, it's all about your attitude. Jesse knows this. If you have a positive attitude and you have goals that are set out there, it just starts rolling. And then when the positive things start happening, you just accentuate on what you did and you keep making more and more and more of that. So whether if you're making a product, then it's you fine line that, you get the manufacturing down, you get all that in aspect, and it just starts to happen. It just starts to make it happen. And there's no law that's in place that's going to, unless there's a ban on something, but there's no law in place that's going to accentuate that, no tax law in place that's going to take you from $13,000 a year to $300,000 a year. It just isn't going to happen. But what you can do is you can focus on your attitude, right? That's the biggest aspect in this. Your attitude is going to determine your altitude as far as your wealth goes. So if you focus solely on the positives, how many times do you get people that you have a conversation with and they're like, oh, my life sucks. I don't have enough money. I wish I had more money. All these things, all the negative things. They just focus on the negative things and you're like, oh my gosh, how can I get away from this conversation fast, or get away from him at the party, or her, whatever it is. And that's where a lot of people focus on. I would guess probably, I mean, in my practice, it's probably close to 70% of the people come in and they start saying, oh, I'm going to be positive and I'm going to do these goals. And then all of a sudden it's like these little statements creep in. Oh, I hate how fat I am. I wish I had more money. All these things that are negatives. You're working on negatives instead of the positives. And that's the first thing, is we got to work on your attitude. We got to change how you speak. And if you have any comments about this, feel free. Put them in the comment section. I said that in the pre-show. Make sure you comment with, even if it's a smiley face or a heart or whatever it is, put it in the comments section so it escalates the Facebook algorithm. So your attitude is what's going to drive your altitude. And what you need to do is we need to sit down, and this is what I do with clients. I sit down and we start having a conversation, and I start listening to what they're saying. If it goes to, and like I said, 70% of them, it starts going down the road of the wants, the can'ts, and that are in there. And that is where your mind is. If you can't see clearly the picture of your destination, you can't attain it. So a great example of this, that which is yours will not go past you. There you go, Amber. What a great example, and this is the way I describe it to them, is if you're going on a vacation, let's pick Disney World, because everybody knows what Disney World looks like, right? So we pick Disney World. We're going to go to Disney World. Now, right away, you have an image in your mind of what Disney World looks like, whether it's the castle, whether it's a teacup ride, whatever your thing is, or Epcot, whatever it is, you have a picture already in your mind of what that is. And I'm going to guess that all of a sudden you have a little bit of a smile there because you're thinking about fun times and all that stuff. So if we're planning a vacation to Disney, we already have a picture of what that looks like, and it creates a feeling inside of us. That's what you have to do when you're planting goals, when you're picturing the future. If you want to double your income this year, what does that look like to you? And everybody has different viewpoints. I mean, to some people, it could be just making $20,000, and to others, it could be making $1 million. So what does that look like? What could you attain? It's not bad to buy things. We all love to buy things. And that's what makes the world kind of go around. We bring in money, we pay out money. So, I mean, that's just part of life. So what does it look to you? What does that look like, doubling your income? Is it going to be a bigger house? I mean, is it going to be just that you're going to have a lot easier life? You'd live where you still are, but then you'd have an easier life, more relaxed. What is that feeling that's inside of you? What does that perpetuate? What out of that would make you smile? So that's what you have to start doing. It's just like going on vacation. Once you visualize it, you can make it happen. You find the money. You could have no more money this week, and all of a sudden you can find the money to put together to take that vacation. As long as you have a picture of where you want to go, it seems to all of a sudden just the how shows up. The how shows up. That's the biggest thing. So you don't worry about the how. How am I going to get the money? How am I going to do this? You have to work on the visualization of the destination. And once you get that destination in your mind and then create a feeling inside, a positive positive feeling within you, that's what's going to make the how happen. So in wealth, what would doubling your income look like to you? And I know you're not going to hit that in the comments section, but what would it look like to you? What would it feel like to you? How would it ease your mind? How would it ease your pocketbook? How would it ease your lifestyle? What would it do for your kids? What would it do for your spouse, your loved ones, your family? What would it do for the other people? I mean, would it be that you can donate more money? Everybody's different on what their outcome would be and what their visualization would be. So write that down. Get it in your mind, but in your mind, it only lasts for a little while, and then your thoughts go, you know, all of a sudden you're going to go out, you're going to see a commercial on TV, and you're going to be drawn to that, like a moth to a flame. So write it down. Once you have that, sit silently and visualize what that would mean, and then write it down or draw it. However you want to visualize it, just put it on paper, though. You have to somehow spell it out that you can come back to it, look at it, read it. If you were going to go to Disney World, you'd write down Disney World, and you'd probably start looking at vacation books or going online and looking at pictures. Do that. That's part of what it's going to be. So first one is going to be wealth, because if we can drive up your wealth, there's nothing wrong with that. People love to have money. They love to have an extra income. They love the ease that it does for you. So there's nothing wrong with that. So don't think that there is to begin with. And if you think that way, that's the first obstacle you got to work on. Money brings greedy people. Money, blah, blah. Money is great. And I want everybody to have more of it. So that's the first one we're going to work on. Wealth. And the next one is going to be health. And what does good health look like to you? That's the next thing. Is it, now to me, I look at the fat percentage. I'm always looking at my fat percentage. The weight goes with it, because right now I have a lot of fat. For me, I have a lot of fat. And yes, there's going to be weight added to it, but I just look at the fat percentage because that's what's going to determine my heart health and my well-being that way. So I know that once it starts warming up, which this is the week for us in Wisconsin, it's warming up, and this is the week that we're going to get it. And so now as it goes up, once we get past the next couple of days, it's going to jump up into the 40s, and I predict it's going to go 40s, 50s. It's going to go up from there. So now this is the week. I got to be able to get out there and do some more running, do some more activity. Where does that come from? Who wants to talk about yogurt? But now that's what it is for me. What is it for you? It could be your blood pressure. It could be that's your determining factors. You look at the numbers, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, things of that sort. That's fine. Do that. Work on that and look at that. But figure out what it is in your mind that you're going to look at. Now, if you're a bodybuilder or a CrossFit person in CrossFit, it's going to be probably how many times you can, lift in a row and deadlift in a row, or it's going to be, whatever the succession is of those things. So with CrossFit, it could be that. If you're a bodybuilder, it could be how much weight you can do, or how you might be measuring as far as, hi, Danny, you might be measuring, arm size and things of that sort. But what is your gauge for health? Is it blood pressure? Is it going to be, figure that out, write that down. And that's the first thing. Now, once you figure out what you're going to use for determining good health or great health or excellent health for you, what's those levels? Once you figure out what you're going to use for a gauge, now let's look at how we're going to attain that. And it all starts with what? Say it with me. Visualization of your destination. There you go. It's that simple. You got to figure out where you're going before you can get there, before you can plan the route and get the trip, right? So if it's going to be that you're going, in my case, I'm going to look at fat percentage. So what do I have to do to get my fat percentage down? I got to do two things. I have to do some weights. I have to do some bodybuilding to a degree. I'm not going to be bulking up, but I have to do something to do with my muscles. Now, whether that's going to be doing push-ups, whether that's going to be doing sit-ups, things like that, or if it's actually going to be working with weights, yet to be determined. But that's what I have to, that one, and I also have to do aerobic activity. In my case, I love to run. When I run, it clears my mind, and all of a sudden thoughts start coming to me. I start taking notes mentally, and sometimes I have to stop, and I have to punch in notes into my phone that I have with me, because it's like that's the only way I can track it so I don't forget it. But that's what it is for me. Now, for someone else, it could be biking. It could be, wrestling. It could be different, swimming. It can be different activities that way. I mean, there's people that I'm friends with that are triathletes. So they're already they train 24/7 year round. They're on their bike in their basement, and they have, things like that if they can't get outside, and running and treadmills, and they're going up full force on it. Now that's more of an extreme from where I am in life. But I definitely, it's going to be some weights or somehow muscle building. And then secondly is going to be probably running for me. As long as I'm injury free, I'm going to be running. And that's going to be what I'm going to focus on. Now, for you, write it down. Okay? Where you want to be. What is going to be, and the other part is too, what causes stress in your life? Because stress is what brings on dis-ease. I say it that way. You might think that I'm talking kind of funny, but if you have ease in your life, you have relaxation. If you have dis-ease in your life, then you have stress. The stress causes dis-ease, and that is bad for your body. So look at those things too as you go along. What are some things that you can eliminate in your life? With Danny, I can pretty much make her list for her. But what is going to bring you is going to lessen your stress so that you get more relaxation in your life. You're just breathing easy. You come home, life is good. You feel relaxed there. You feel at home there. So what is that going to do? That's going to be part of your health. That's going to be part of your mental health, because mental health, physical health all go together. And if you can create the two side by side, that's going to be the best thing. That's going to accelerate you to that destination. So first off, how are you going to determine it? And then what is your destination? I don't like the whole losing weight thing as much, because if you say I want to lose, let's put it out there to the universe. I want to lose 30 pounds. There's a lot of ways you can lose 30 pounds. And if you're not specific, like saying, I want to lose 13% body fat or whatever it is. If you're not specific on that, then the higher powers to be may all of a sudden make the how happen. And you could lose 30 pounds very easily by having a form of a disease, right? They could bring more stress into your life. You get a disease out of it, and bam, you lost 30 pounds, but you also may lose your life and lose even more than that. So let's be specific on how we want to determine that. I want my blood pressure to be down to X number, 110/70 or whatever it is. Or fat percentage, or however that is. use those factors to do it. Don't just go with a weight number or something of that sort. Or it can be the way you look. You know, I'm carrying more weight around my middle section. And so I mean, I could say I want to get down to my waist size of 31 or something of that. Whatever it is, determine what that is, and then that's what you want to use for a gauge. And be specific on it, know the destination, and then the how is going to show up, because all of a sudden, I mean, am I going to fret if all of a sudden I get injured and I can't run? No, I'm going to find something else. That just means I'm probably not supposed to be running right now, because I might go out there and get hit by a car. That's how I look at it. So I don't get down on myself, so I can do a lot of different things. If I can't run, if all of a sudden I hurt my knee and I can't run, I can still do push-ups. I can still do sit-ups. I can still do other things that don't involve my knee. I can do stretching. I can do all those good things that are going to get it healthier faster. But don't get caught up in the how aspect, because that's just going to change from time to time. Plus, you're going to get bored with certain things. If I get bored with running at some point, then I'm going to probably switch to something that could be biking or some other kind of activity. But it's just getting out there and getting some activity. And now that we're getting warm, thank you, Danny. Now that we're getting warm out there, in Wisconsin anyway, if you're out in California watching this, we're jealous of you. If you're on the East Coast right now, you're getting dumped on, and I don't even care. That's okay with me. So figure out your destination, and then let the how just happen. There's going to be some things that you like to do them, and then as time goes on, don't lose faith. You can go and, I mean, if you get sick of running or whatever, you're biking or whatever it is, maybe go do Zumba or go take a dance class or go dancing. And that dancing is an aerobic activity. Who would have thought that, huh? Put that on there. I'm going to just take my lovely Ember and we'll go out dancing every Saturday afternoon, because we fall asleep early on Saturday night. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Well, we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. Yeah. Well, so we got wealth, we hit health, and what's left? Spirituality. That's the best picture I could find. That's a beautiful picture. Just take that one in a little bit. Spirituality. So whether you call it God, Buddha, Allah, Krishna, Tao, am I missing one? I don't know what's out there. Allah, did I say that already? Your higher power, whatever you want to put for a label on there. Your spirituality is going to be your relationship with everything around you. How do you relate to your spouse? How do you, or your friends, or your family, or just the trees outside, or your home? How do you relate to that? That's all your relationships, is all part of your spirituality. It doesn't necessarily, I'm not talking necessarily a religion or you need to go to church every Sunday and that's what, it's not that. It's what's inside of you. It's where your heart will guide you. So that's what I preach to everyone. It's more preaching than it is because I preach it. Your heart's going to guide you. Your gut tells you right from wrong, and your thinking just messes you up. When you start thinking about all this stuff and rethinking and, oh, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? It's like, that's what messes you up. Follow your heart. And that's where your spirituality is right in your heart. It's like what guides you. So there's different ways. I meditate every day. Before Emmer gets up, I meditate. But as whatever it is, that's the easiest way, because it just silences your mind. But not everybody has the capabilities to do that. But I'm going to tell you, if you want that strengthened and you have that as your destination to become just more at ease with life. So when someone cuts you off, you don't sit there and pull out a gun and shoot them and things like that. I wish more of this was taught into schools, because we probably wouldn't have as many mass shootings in that out there. But getting back to the original aspect of this, you can meditate if you want to. You can leave 15 minutes earlier and sit in the parking lot in your car. I mean, if you have to escape kids or you have to escape life at home, it's too hectic, it's too there's too much going on, you can go and escape if you want to 15 minutes, or you can go for a walk in the woods. Yes, that's a form of meditation. It's not sitting there chanting or sitting there with your eyes closed and that aspect. There's a walking meditation too, where it's like you're just walking in solitude and you're just out there in nature, and all you're listening to, you're not listening to music, you're not listening to the wind, you're listening to nature that's out there. That's a highlight to me during the spring and the summertime. And that, as I go out on my runs, it's like I hit around the lake and there's nothing there except for birds chirping and the wind blowing through, and that's just a great thing. It's like not having music blaring in your ears and things of that sort, but just getting out there and enjoying it. And that's walking meditation. There's a whole thing on walking meditation. And and that could be a form that you do. Some people love the wintertime, and they probably are out there doing that right now. I have people that walk past here every day, and I will guarantee you that that's part of their walking meditation, is getting out there and just enjoying Mother Nature, enjoying the earth, all the elements of the earth. And so that's a form right there. But getting closer to that spirituality, whether you want to have it with their higher power or whether you want to have it with just your relationships, when you have the best relationship with yourself is when you're open to having better relationships with everyone else. So you have to become one with yourself. Sounds kind of freaky. It is a little freaky. It's a little bit different than we're taught everywhere else. But it's getting more and more normal, at least among the people I hang out with. So become more, have a better relationship, become one with yourself, and have a better relationship with your heart, with that heart that's guiding you. So what does that look like? What is life? What does a great life look like for you? Start writing that down. Start describing that to yourself. What does the perfect life look at? How much money do you have? What relationships do you have with your children, with your family, with your friends? What does that look like? For some people, it's going to look like, hey, I'm all alone on a deserted island and I don't want anybody around me. Other people, it's going to be like, I have massive friends. We're hugging. We're enjoying life. We don't have a care in the world. We're relaxed because there's an endless amount of money in our lives. That could be what it is. Whatever that is, write it down, describe it, visualize it, and get that direction. If you can visualize it, then you can become it. I know it sounds kind of goofy, but it's true. You can't build a house without making the plans. So once you have the plans from the architect, now we can build the house. We know where all the 2x4s go, right? So it's the same thing with your life. Figure out what that looks like, and then you can start figuring out how you need to build it, how big the foundation is. If I made a basement, if I poured the basement first without knowing how big the house is going to be on top of it, it could be totally off kilter, right? So let's look at the big picture first. What does it look like? Paint that picture. Write it down. Get detailed as much as you can, and then let's start to build it. So it's going to be part wealth, part health, because if you're not healthy, you can't reap the rewards of having a relationship with other people as well as having wealth in your life. So you got to be healthy mentally, physically. That's there. So wealth, health, and then spirituality. And spirituality is going to be those relationships with yourself, with your higher power, with others then. But it's kind of in that order. So there you go. That's what tonight's all about. Work on it. Wealth, health, spirituality. Paint the picture, get the destination. What does it look like? And then let your heart guide you to you're gonna get there. Let them guide you on how you're gonna. I mean, if you're like I said at the beginning, if you planned a trip to Disney World, you're gonna figure out if you're gonna fly there, you're gonna drive there, you're gonna take an RV, or you're gonna all load up into a car. You'll figure it out. The how will figure itself out depending upon what you can do, your capabilities. But just get that destination in mind and then start letting the things unravel itself. Keep that on focus. So same thing. What's your wealth going to look like? What's your health going to look like? And what's the perfect spirituality or relationships with yourself, your higher power, and everyone around you? All right, that's it. So work on that this week. Enjoy life and go out there and hug somebody, would you? They need it. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
If you like this video, like my Facebook page or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or find everything at davestelma.com.